日本の友達皆さんこんにちは Shreddawg です。 What is going on, everyone? Shreddawg back here for a rather different video than what I usually create. You know, something interesting is going on where I'm not wearing my hat and I actually brushed my hair for once, right? Like, so, you know, maybe just grab a nice drink, maybe a can of Boss coffee or just any other coffee, or in my case today, an energy drink because I'm getting ready for work in a little bit. And let's just talk about something. So today I actually just wanted to create a short video talking about something that's been bothering me for a while on YouTube, and it's actually regarding Japan and content about Japan. So I'm actually very curious to know if any of you have noticed the same thing. I've noticed on my personal YouTube channel where I do my everyday browsing, as opposed to my Shreddawg channel where it's just specifically nothing but Japanese music, I've noticed a lot of videos popping up that are actually showing a lot of different content that I'm used to. So I consume a lot of content about Japan, visiting Japan, everything like that, since I visit the country often. And I've noticed lately there's a trend of kind of negative videos actually, and oftentimes it's actually negative towards the women of Japan, which I don't understand why. These videos oftentimes seem to be over-sexualized and over-sensationalized while portraying Japanese women in a negative way. I would say probably a year ago or more, almost all the content that would pop up in my YouTube feed regarding Japan, visiting Japan, things like that, were very positive and wholesome videos. You would have videos like, you know, travel tips for visiting Japan and hidden gems when you're in Tokyo, just things like that that were just very good-natured, I want to say. And lately it seems like my YouTube feed is just being overrun with these crazy sensationalized titles like, "Why do Japanese women cheat? I spent the day with a Japanese porn star." Just crazy stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't watch any of these crazy sensationalized like pieces of content. Why is my feed being bombarded with these types of videos now? I think what I find very interesting as well is it's not just foreigners who are creating those types of videos, but I've actually noticed Japanese people actually kind of posting those types of videos. And yeah, it's just really crazy to me. I think Japan is just an absolutely amazing country. It's insanely beautiful. It's so clean. There are so many just fun places to visit, while at the same time, there's so much history and so much culture in the country. On top of that, every time I go to Japan, I've noticed the people are just so kind. Some of the most kind people I've ever met in all my travels across the world. And I'm not gonna lie, the music scene is pretty awesome too. I guess for me, it really bothers me to see this over-sexualized and sensationalized view of Japan. And again, as previously mentioned, a lot of the videos are more negative towards women, which is another thing I don't understand. One of the trends that I've noticed is people going around Japan and asking them questions about different things that, in my opinion, maybe they shouldn't be asking them. You know, just crazy things like, have you ever cheated before? Do you cheat on your partner? Do you allow your partner to cheat? Things like that. And again, I think that's something that you really shouldn't be asking strangers, but I guess if they volunteer the information, you know, shikataganai. Everywhere you go, you're gonna have areas that are not so good, and you can ask questions over and over and over again until you finally get people that essentially give you the answers that you want. So what I'm saying is you can ask 1,000 people the same question and get maybe 990 of them will be positive answers. You then take the 10 negative answers that you get and create a whole video regarding those 10 negative answers, and you can essentially paint a completely different narrative than the data that you actually collected. And the video makes it seem like the overwhelming majority of people have this same negative idea or opinion, something like that. And I think that's what a lot of content creators have been doing lately with these types of videos, so they can post these sensationalized clickbait kind of titles to get people to view their video. I'm going to go off into a little bit of a tangent here, but I just want to tell this story, a short story of something that I encountered when I was in Japan. So on my last trip to Japan, when I was in Kyoto, I had just left the Fushimi Inari Shrine, beautiful place by the way, and I was on the train and I happened to notice sitting nearby me there was a group of foreigners, and I overheard this conversation that they were having, and I will just highlight one part of what they said and it will be a direct quote. And I still can't believe I'm saying this, but this is what I overheard, and again, this is a quote. "I don't understand the point of coming to Japan. This is just a place where people live." Before I even get into that statement there, I just want to say it was a crowded train and these foreigners were being very loud. For those of you who have never been to Japan or never learned about Japanese culture, you never want to disturb anybody on a train. Whether it's crowded or not, you don't want to be loud. You don't want to disturb others. That's one of the number one things when you visit Japan is be respectful of the people around you because they are respectful of you. So right off the bat, seeing these foreigners here being loud, talking loudly, and then saying negative things is like, oh man, I hate when I see things like that because I don't want Japanese people to see all foreigners as rude, disrespectful. I want them to think the overall majority of foreigners are respectful and polite. And I do my best to essentially blend into society when I am in Japan. I try to follow all the societal rules and I try not to disturb anybody because they do the same. So it's one of those things, right? Everybody else around you is acting a certain way. If you don't know the rules, just look around what other people are doing and follow the same things that they're doing so you don't disturb anybody, especially when you are visiting their country. Now, back to what they said. They don't understand the point of visiting Japan. It is just a place where people live. Yes, Japan is a country filled with millions of people that live there. Japan is literally their home. When you are going to Japan, you are essentially visiting a place where people call home. When you are walking around neighborhoods, that is a place where people live. This is their home. Japan is not an anime, it's not a video game, and it's not whatever crazy things you may have seen on YouTube. That aside, in Kyoto, you are leaving the Fushimi Inari Shrine, which is just an absolutely beautiful cultural place. And your first thought is, this is just a place where people live. I don't even understand how that can be the first thing that comes to mind when you're in such a beautiful cultural area. Even with the crazy amount of over-tourism in Kyoto, and that is a completely separate issue. I can talk all about the over-tourism in Japan and especially Kyoto if you'd like. Just let me know and I can just kind of create another video about that because that is a whole nother problem that I don't want to get into in this video. But even with that, it's just such a beautiful, peaceful, again, culture-rich place. How can you just... I don't understand how you can be like, I don't understand the point of coming here. It's just a place where people live. It is, but it's also filled with rich history and there's so many cultural places around in the area where you can just experience the culture of Japan, learn about the culture of Japan. It's just crazy to me. And so the reason I brought up that story is I'm actually wondering if these kinds of crazy videos that I've been seeing on YouTube are giving people essentially a false impression of what Japan is. I wonder what impression people have of Japan before they visit. And I'm actually curious of how maybe that impression may have changed from, say, pre-pandemic to post-pandemic. I wonder if there's been just a shift in the content being created and consumed on YouTube that is making people have a false impression of Japan. I am not Japanese. I am not an expert on Japan, nor have I ever lived in Japan. I do, however, try to visit Japan every year because it is my favorite place in the world to visit. That being said, I'm wondering if my opinion on this subject is valid Or am I the crazy one here? At the end of the day, you are free to consume whatever content you want online. That is a beautiful thing. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I will say content creators will mainly focus on creating and posting videos that they think will get consumed by people, because viewership and viewer engagement is the most important thing for them, and for a lot of people it is literally their livelihood to create videos that are popular. I am wondering if the kind of shift towards these sensationalized videos and over-sexualized videos is leading to a vicious cycle here of the more kind of clickbait or outrageous title you can create or outrageous content you can create, the more popular it will get. And again, the more views it gets, more engagement, which means essentially more money for the people that create these videos. And when other creators see these types of videos being created and they see the numbers they're getting, these creators now think, I must do the same thing now. So I'm wondering if it's just kind of a vicious cycle that's going on here, or again, is it just happen to be the videos that I'm seeing? Is the YouTube algorithm going crazy for me? I just wanted to take a few minutes here out of my day and just talk about this subject because it is something that has been bothering me for a while. And again, I wanted to know if other people have noticed the same things. And if you have, what are your thoughts and opinions on that? I personally do not like seeing these kinds of videos posted because I don't like things that are essentially... I don't like things that are potentially disrespectful towards Japan or Japanese women or just women in general. I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion or ideology here with this video. I'm just really looking for a constructive conversation about this type of thing that I've noticed. And again, it's just general curiosity. Like, have you noticed the same thing? Do you feel the same way that I feel? Do you think I'm wrong? Again, I'd love to have a constructive conversation about it in the comment section below, so feel free to leave any comment you would like. I would greatly appreciate that. It's just something that, again, I've noticed and it's been bothering me personally, so I wanted to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this subject as well. And that's pretty much all I had for today. I wanted to just say thank you to everybody for stopping by this video. I know it's different than what I normally post, but it's just something that I wanted to talk about. And if you do enjoy these types of videos, please let me know, and maybe every so often I can do one of these videos. And again, as well, if you want to hear about my opinions on the over-tourism of Japan, definitely let me know. I'd love to make a video about that as well, because it's something that I directly experienced. And with all that out the way, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. So thank you all so much for stopping by. Again, I hope you enjoyed this type of video, and I hope you all out there be safe, take care, rock on, and I will talk to you again real soon. And oh yeah, happy Women's History Month. Ciao mate.